The soft golden sunlight of the afternoon streamed through the enormous glass windows of Harrington Tower, the magnificent skyscraper situated in the heart of Los Angeles. From the office on the top floor, Ryan Harrington stood silently, his eyes gazing far off toward the horizon. He was the only son of Charles and Evelyn Harrington, the sole heir to Harrington Technologies, a renowned tech empire built on his father's relentless ambition and discipline. Yet to Ryan, the brilliance of this legacy felt more like a burden. Inside the office, the atmosphere was heavy. Charles sat commandingly behind a walnut desk, his sharp eyes fixed on Ryan. Evelyn stood nearby, her hand resting lightly on her husband's shoulder, as though to ease the tension. But the faint smile on her lips only amplified the pressure of the conversation. "Ryan," Charles began in a low, authoritative tone, "it's time for you to do what's necessary for the family. This isn't a choice, it's your responsibility." Ryan frowned, struggling to suppress the wave of disgust rising within him. "What are you talking about?" Evelyn, always composed, stepped closer to Ryan. "We've arranged for you to meet Charlotte Beaumont. She's the daughter of the Beaumont family, former nobility, though they've fallen on hard times. A marriage between you and her would bring tremendous benefits to both families." Ryan let out a bitter laugh. "You said arranged? I haven't even met her, and you've already planned out my life?" He turned to Charles, anger flashing in his eyes. "You want me to marry a complete stranger just to strengthen your business network? This is absurd." Charles slammed his hand on the desk, the impact echoing through the room. "Stop acting like a child, Ryan. This is how the world works. Marriage is a tool, not some foolish emotional indulgence. Charlotte isn't just the daughter of the Beaumont family. She's the key to securing a partnership with them, one that will expand our market into Europe." Ryan took a deep breath, trying to maintain his composure. He turned away, looking out the window. The city below buzzed with life, the people like tiny ants. To his father, Ryan felt no different, just another pawn in his elaborate game of power. "I don't care about expanding the market or fortifying your position," Ryan replied, his voice dropping. "I want to make my own decisions about my life." Evelyn stepped forward, placing a gentle hand on Ryan's arm. "Ryan, I understand how you feel, but you have to realize this isn't just about the family, it's about your future. A marriage with Charlotte will bring stability, and she's an exceptional woman. Beautiful, intelligent, and mature." "Mature?" Ryan spun around, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "She's 10 years older than me? You think I should spend my life with someone I've never met, just because it benefits the company?" Charles rose abruptly, his voice cold. "If you refuse, you'll walk away from this family on your own. No company, no inheritance, no support. Are you ready to give up everything just because of your childish rebellion?" His father's words struck like a knife. Ryan turned to face him, his eyes blazing. "Then consider me no longer part of this family. If all you care about is money and power, then I want no part of it." The room fell into an uneasy silence. Evelyn attempted to mediate, but Ryan raised his hand to stop her. "Enough! I don't want to hear another word." That evening, Ryan packed his belongings in his luxurious apartment. He knew leaving everything behind wouldn't be easy, but the feeling of being forced into a life he didn't want had become unbearable. The family photos on the shelf stirred a flicker of regret, but Ryan knew that to find peace and live on his own terms, he needed to distance himself from the Harringtons' world. The black car glided along the empty roads, away from the dazzling city lights. Ryan didn't know where he was going, but he knew he needed time to think and to rediscover himself. As the car moved toward the serene outskirts, a faint sense of freedom began to creep in, though it was tinged with uncertainty. Before Los Angeles disappeared from view, Ryan pulled over by the roadside, taking one last look at the city where he had grown up. He murmured softly, as if speaking to himself, "I don't know what the future holds, but at least I'll decide it for myself." With that, Ryan stepped on the gas, heading toward an unknown horizon where he hoped to find the answers he had been seeking for so long. Hello, Soul Stories family. I hope you're all doing well. May God bless you with love, joy, and peace. I pray your days shine bright, your burdens ease, and your dreams come true. How did our last story touch you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I truly value them. You're more than subscribers, you're family. Your presence means the world to me. Let's continue this journey together. Ryan's car gently vibrated as he drove along a dirt road leading to a small town nestled in Napa Valley. Surrounding him were lush green vineyards stretching endlessly to the horizon. The air here carried the earthy scent of soil, plants, and a tranquility he had never experienced in the hurried pace of city life. He had decided to settle temporarily in a quaint little town called San Helena, known for its sprawling vineyards and wineries. After an afternoon of searching, he found a small house tucked under the shade of an ancient oak tree. The house was simple but cozy, with a red-tiled roof and a small front porch. It wasn't the luxurious life he was accustomed to, but it gave him a sense of relief and freedom. On his first morning in town, Ryan woke to the sound of birds chirping instead of the incessant noise of traffic. He brewed himself a cup of coffee, sat on the porch, and admired the mist-covered vineyards in the soft morning light. He didn't know how long he would stay, but this newfound peace was exactly what he needed for now. A week after arriving in town, Ryan was driving along a narrow road passing by a vineyard when he noticed an old truck parked on the roadside. A middle-aged man was crouched under the hood, his face marked with frustration. Ryan stepped out of his car and asked, "Need some help?" The man, Mr. Bill, looked up, his face lined with worry. "This old truck is always acting up. I was on my way to deliver a crate of grapes to Golden Vine Vineyard, but now it's dead." Glancing at the engine, Ryan quickly identified the problem. Rolling up his sleeves, he got to work. In less than 20 minutes, the truck roared back to life. Mr. Bill beamed with gratitude. "Thank you, young man. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have made it. Are you new in town?" Ryan nodded. "Yes, I just moved here. I'm looking for a peaceful place to live." Mr. Bill chuckled heartily. "Well, you've come to the right place. If you're not too busy, why don't you stop by Golden Vine Vineyard? The young lady who runs it would be grateful you saved me, and her grapes." Ryan agreed. When he arrived at Golden Vine, he was greeted by a picturesque scene. Rows upon rows of neatly arranged grapevines, a farmhouse with a red-tiled roof, and a small winemaking facility nearby. Standing in the middle of the courtyard was a young woman with long brown hair tied loosely back, dressed in jeans and a plaid shirt. She exuded both strength and grace. "Emily," Mr. Bill called out. "This young man here helped me fix the truck. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have made it back with the grapes." Emily Carter turned, a warm smile spreading across her face as she approached Ryan. "Thank you. I'm Emily, the owner of this vineyard." Ryan returned her smile. "I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you." While Mr. Bill and Emily inspected the crate of grapes, Ryan took in the surroundings. The vineyard, though modest, radiated a rustic charm and vitality. He couldn't help but be impressed by Emily. Her aura of resilience and capability was unlike anything he had encountered among the socialites in his former life. "You're not from around here, are you?" Emily asked, turning back to Ryan. "That's right. I just moved here a few days ago. I needed a break from the city," Ryan replied, careful to keep his true identity hidden. Emily nodded thoughtfully. "Well, if you're not too busy, I have an old grape press that needs fixing. Maybe you could take a look?" Ryan agreed without hesitation. He followed Emily to the production area, where a dusty, outdated grape press sat unused. After examining it, he identified the issue and quickly got to work. When the machine finally sputtered to life, Emily's face lit up with joy. "Thank you, Ryan. This press has been out of commission for weeks, and I didn't know how to fix it." Ryan smiled. "No problem. If you ever need more help, just let me know." Emily looked at him, her eyes shining with gratitude. "If you don't mind, how about staying for dinner? It's the least I can do to thank you." From that day forward, Ryan became a familiar presence at Golden Vine Vineyard. Initially, he only helped with minor repairs, but soon he found himself involved in other tasks, picking grapes, watering the fields, and even learning the basics of winemaking. Emily and her 17-year-old younger brother, Jack, a bright and energetic teenager, quickly grew accustomed to Ryan's presence. Jack, in particular, admired Ryan and eagerly followed him around, absorbing everything he could. Each morning, Ryan and Emily worked side by side under the sun. They picked plump clusters of grapes, their conversations flowing effortlessly, ranging from hobbies to unfulfilled dreams. Ryan shared his love for technology, but kept his true background hidden. Meanwhile, Emily spoke of her aspirations to turn Golden Vine into a renowned wine brand, though managing the vineyard alone often left her exhausted. "You're incredibly strong," Ryan said one day as they rested in the shade of a tree. "I've never met anyone as determined as you." Emily smiled, though there was a hint of sadness behind it. "After my parents passed away, I didn't have much choice. I had to step up to take care of Jack and keep this vineyard running. It's all they left us." Looking at her, Ryan felt an unfamiliar yet profound admiration rising within him. He had never met anyone with Emily's blend of determination and compassion. The days at Golden Vine not only taught Ryan new skills, but also changed his perspective on life. He realized that happiness didn't lie in wealth or power, but in simple moments like working under the sun, sharing warm family dinners, or conversing with someone who truly understood him. Gradually, the bond between Ryan and Emily deepened. It wasn't a love that blossomed overnight, but a connection built through shared experiences and trust over time. Emily saw in Ryan a sincerity and kindness that she hadn't expected from a stranger. As for Ryan, he found in Emily something he never knew he needed: warmth and a sense of belonging. One evening, as the golden sunset bathed the vineyard in a soft glow, Ryan and Emily sat on the porch overlooking the fields. Emily turned to him and gently said, "I don't know why you came here, but I'm glad you did." Ryan smiled softly, his gaze tender. "I think I'm glad too. Maybe this is where I was meant to find." With those words, Ryan began to realize that he had found not just a refuge, but perhaps a place where he could start anew. Ryan had decided to keep the truth hidden, that he was a millionaire and the heir to the Harrington Technologies empire. For him, Napa Valley was a place to rediscover himself, not to carry the weight of his family name and expectations. He introduced himself to the townsfolk, especially Emily and Jack, as an unemployed engineer seeking a peaceful life away from the chaos of the city. Emily accepted Ryan's story without question. She saw in him a difference, a quiet, thoughtful man who didn't put up walls of arrogance or pretense. For Ryan, living an ordinary life felt liberating, allowing him to blend into the simplicity of life at Golden Vine. However, maintaining his hidden identity wasn't always easy. There were moments when Ryan's extensive knowledge of business and management, learned from years in his family's company, almost betrayed him. He quickly masked his slip-ups, trying to conceal his accidental intelligence from Emily and the locals. Emily, though outwardly strong, also carried secrets she didn't want anyone to know. The Golden Vine Vineyard, which had been in her family for generations, was on the brink of bankruptcy. The massive debts left behind after her father's unexpected passing weighed heavily on her shoulders. She had given up her dream of becoming an artist, a passion she had cherished since childhood. Instead, she threw herself into managing the vineyard, working tirelessly to improve its yield and quality to maintain the reputation of Golden Vine. But the debts loomed large, and with each passing day, Emily felt the mounting pressure. Emily kept the dire state of the vineyard to herself, partly out of pride and partly out of fear. She worried that if she revealed the truth, she would lose the respect of Ryan, the man she had begun to trust and care for. One late summer afternoon, dark clouds rolled over the Napa Valley sky. By nightfall, a sudden storm struck, bringing heavy winds and torrential rain that devastated a significant portion of the Golden Vine Vineyard. Grape trellises were uprooted, stakes broke, and rainwater flooded the pathways. The next morning, as Ryan awoke, he heard the frantic voices of Emily and Jack cleaning up the damage. He quickly ran outside and was met with a heartbreaking sight: rows of destroyed vines and broken structures. Emily stood in the middle of the chaos, her face stoic, but her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "We'll manage this, Jack," she said to her brother, her voice firm but trembling. "As long as we work hard, Golden Vine won't fall." Ryan could feel Emily's pain and determination. He resolved to help her by any means necessary, even if it meant using his own funds. Knowing that Emily would never accept direct help, he secretly contacted a major agricultural supplier and ordered the materials needed to restore the vineyard, including new trellises, fertilizers, and tools. He instructed the supplier not to disclose his identity, framing it as a gift from a mystery benefactor. When the supplies arrived, Emily was taken aback. "Who sent these?" she asked, looking at Ryan with suspicion. "Maybe someone who wants to help," Ryan replied, trying to remain calm. Emily was unconvinced by his vague answer, but decided to focus on the urgent task of repairing the vineyard. With Ryan's help, Jack's enthusiasm, and the assistance of neighbors, they began restoring the vineyard. A few days later, Emily came across an invoice from the supplier. To her shock, Ryan's name was clearly listed as the purchaser. Her heart sank. That evening, while Ryan was helping Jack repair an irrigation system, Emily approached him, holding the invoice in her hand. "Why did you do this?" she asked, her voice a mixture of hurt and anger. Ryan turned, immediately recognizing the document in her hand. "Emily, I just wanted to help." "Help me," she interrupted, her voice breaking as tears welled up in her eyes. "Do you think I can't handle this on my own? I know how hard you've been working, and I know you're capable," Ryan said, his tone earnest. "But I also know that no one can do everything alone. I just wanted to support you in the best way I could." Emily shook her head, stepping back. "You said you came here to find peace, but it's clear you're hiding something. How can I trust you when I don't even know who you really are?" Ryan fell silent. He wanted to tell Emily the truth, but he feared that revealing his identity would only deepen her disappointment. Without another word, Emily turned and walked away, leaving Ryan standing in the quiet vineyard, consumed by guilt and regret. In the days that followed, Emily kept her distance from Ryan. She immersed herself in work, avoiding unnecessary conversations. Jack noticed the tension, but refrained from asking questions. Ryan, on the other hand, was torn between revealing his true identity and keeping his promise to himself to live a simple life. For the first time in his life, he found himself caring more about someone else's feelings than his own. One afternoon, Ryan stood on a hill overlooking the Golden Vine vineyard. In the golden glow of the sunset, he saw Emily inspecting the newly repaired vines. She looked exhausted but resilient, just as she had on the day they first met. Ryan knew he couldn't keep his secret forever. He needed to find a way to make Emily understand that everything he had done came from a place of genuine care and a desire to protect her, not out of pity. Days at Golden Vine brought Ryan and Emily closer as they worked side by side in the vineyard. For Ryan, life here was a stark contrast to the luxurious and high-pressure world he had left behind. Each morning they tended to the vineyard together, harvesting ripe grapes under the sun. Ryan learned to identify different grape varieties and came to appreciate the patience and effort required to maintain a vineyard. In the evenings, they shared simple meals on the porch, basking in the quiet serenity of the countryside. Emily opened up about her struggles after her family's financial collapse. Her father, once a powerful millionaire in the finance industry, had lost everything due to failed investments and scandals. "Golden Vine is the only thing my father didn't lose," Emily said, her voice tinged with emotion. "I promised myself I wouldn't let this vineyard fall into someone else's hands. It's the only place that holds the memories of my family." Ryan admired Emily's strength. Despite the weight of her past, she carried herself with hope and determination. His feelings for her grew stronger each day. One day, while Ryan was working in the vineyard, Jack, the teenage brother of Emily, overheard a conversation between Ryan and a friend from the city. "Ryan, you can't hide forever," the voice on the phone said. "Your family is furious. They want you back to face your responsibilities. You can't just keep living like this." Jack froze, unable to believe what he had just heard. The man he thought of as trustworthy and kind had a completely different identity. That evening, Jack told Emily about what he had overheard. "Emily, Ryan isn't who we think he is. He's rich and running away from his life." Emily was reluctant to believe it. "Jack, don't jump to conclusions. Ryan isn't like those people who rely on money to solve everything. He genuinely cares about this place." But doubt began to creep into Emily's mind. She started noticing things she hadn't paid attention to before. Ryan's ease with financial concepts and his unusually refined skills that most ordinary people wouldn't have. Determined to confront him, Emily waited for the right moment. One evening, as they sat on the porch overlooking the vineyard, she decided to ask directly, "Ryan, who are you really? I don't want to hear any more lies." Ryan knew he couldn't hide the truth any longer. Taking a deep breath, he looked into her eyes and confessed, "Emily, I lied to you. I'm not an unemployed engineer. My real name is Ryan Harrington, and I'm the heir to Harrington Technologies. I came here to escape my life of luxury and to avoid an arranged marriage my family was forcing on me." Emily sat in stunned silence, his words piercing through her trust. "You've been lying to me from the very beginning," she said, her voice trembling with anger and hurt. Ryan tried to explain. "I didn't tell you because I wanted to live a life that felt real, free from my family's expectations and the weight of their judgment. I wanted to be just Ryan, not a Harrington." Emily stood up, her eyes filled with pain. "And you thought lying was the way to find honesty? I trusted you, Ryan. You said you wanted to help me, but all this time, you've just been running from your own life, using this vineyard as your hideout. What else are you hiding from me?" Ryan's heart sank as he saw the tears in her eyes. "Emily, everything I've done here, everything I've said, has been because I care about you. I never wanted to hurt you." But Emily couldn't forgive him so easily. "Ryan, I don't need someone to come here with secrets and lies. How can I believe anything you've said? How can I trust you? Leave the vineyard, Ryan. I don't want to see you here again." Ryan looked at her one last time, his eyes filled with sorrow and regret, knowing there was nothing he could say to change her mind. He walked away carrying a heavy heart and an overwhelming sense of guilt. Ryan left Golden Vine with a deep sense of guilt and regret, heading back to the world he once desperately wanted to escape, the glitz and chaos of Los Angeles. The city's towering skyscrapers and relentless pace felt suffocating compared to the peaceful vineyards of Napa Valley. Yet he knew there were battles waiting for him. On the evening of his return, Ryan walked into the family mansion, his steps echoing through the marble halls. In the grand living room, Charles and Evelyn Harrington were waiting, their expressions a mix of judgment and frustration. Charles stood up as Ryan entered, his tone sharp. "Finally, you decided to come home. We need to talk about your wedding to Charlotte. Her family has been waiting for your decision." Ryan stood firm, his gaze unwavering. "No, Father. I'm not marrying Charlotte. I refuse to let my life become another one of your business transactions." Evelyn stepped in, her voice softer but still tinged with manipulation. "Ryan, you must understand. This isn't just about the family. It's about securing the future of Harrington Technologies. If you refuse, you'll lose everything." Ryan gave a bitter laugh. "If the future of the company depends on a loveless marriage, then I'd rather walk away. I don't need your money or your inheritance. I want to live my life on my terms, free from these suffocating expectations." Charles slammed his hand on the table, his face red with anger. "Do you even realize what you're saying? You're throwing away everything we built for you." Ryan met his father's glare, his voice steady. "I know exactly what I'm doing. If I continue on this path, I'll just be another pawn in your power games. I've met someone who's shown me what it means to live authentically. I can't go back to the way things were." Evelyn's expression softened slightly. "Do you love her, Ryan?" "Yes," Ryan admitted, his voice quieter now. "She's unlike anyone I've ever met. But I've hurt her, and I'll never forgive myself if I don't make things right." Charles's face hardened. "If you walk out that door, you're no longer my son." Ryan took a deep breath, his heart heavy but resolute. "Then so be it. I'll prove I can build my own life without your help." Without looking back, Ryan left the opulent mansion, carrying nothing but his determination to make amends and start anew. Back at Golden Vine, Emily faced her own struggles. One day she received a letter from a prominent real estate company, Westfield Developments, expressing interest in purchasing the vineyard. The offer came with an astronomical sum, enough to pay off all the farm's debts, secure Jack's future, and provide Emily with a fresh start. However, selling the vineyard would mean giving up the last piece of her family's legacy. Emily sat in the living room, staring at the letter, her mind racing. Jack entered, noticing her deep in thought. "What's wrong, Emily?" he asked, sitting beside her. She handed him the letter, her voice tinged with uncertainty. "They want to buy the vineyard, Jack. This money could clear our debts, send you to college, and give us a fresh start. Jack frowned. But if we sell the vineyard, there'll be nothing left of our family. This is the only place that keeps Mom and Dad's memory alive. Emily nodded, her heart torn. She knew Jack was right, but the weight of the debts was a constant, unrelenting burden. That evening, Emily sat alone on the porch, gazing at the moonlit rows of grapevines. Memories of her parents flooded her mind, how her father had once dreamed of making Golden Vine one of Napa Valley's top vineyards. She also thought of Ryan. Despite his lies, his presence had brought a glimmer of hope and support during her darkest days. She missed him, even though the hurt he caused lingered. The next day, Emily invited her lawyer to discuss Westfield's offer. "I need more time to decide," she said, her voice steady but uncertain. "I can't make this decision lightly." But time was running out. Creditors were becoming impatient, and Emily knew she couldn't delay forever. As the deadline for responding to Westfield's offer approached, Emily found herself at a crossroads. Hold on to the vineyard and risk losing everything, or sell it and secure financial stability for herself and Jack. She created a list of pros and cons for both options, but no choice felt right. The vineyard was more than just land. It was her family's legacy, their dreams, and their memories. Selling it would mean giving up the one thing her parents had left her. Late one evening, Jack entered her room holding a piece of paper. "Emily, look at this. I found it in Dad's office. It's a draft of his plans for expanding Golden Vine and turning it into a renowned wine brand." Emily took the paper, her eyes welling with tears as she read her father's handwriting. She realized that Golden Vine was more than just a vineyard. It was her father's dream, a symbol of her family's perseverance and identity. But she also knew that keeping the dream alive required resources she didn't have. She couldn't do it alone. And deep down, she wished Ryan was there, not just to help, but to share in the journey of rebuilding what her family had started. After days of deep reflection, Ryan realized he couldn't lose Emily. He knew he had made a mistake by hiding his true identity, but his love for her was genuine. With a firm resolve to make things right, he returned to Golden Vine, carrying not only his apologies but also a concrete plan to save the vineyard. As Ryan pulled up to the vineyard, the golden hues of the late afternoon sun bathed the rows of grapevines. He spotted Emily tending to the vines, her silhouette strong, yet graceful under the light. She turned as she heard the sound of his footsteps, her eyes briefly betraying surprise before they hardened into a guarded expression. "Ryan, what are you doing here?" Emily's tone was calm but cautious, her arms crossed as if bracing herself for disappointment. Ryan approached slowly, his gaze earnest. "Emily, I came back for you. I know I was wrong to hide the truth about who I am, but you need to know that I never meant to deceive you. I love you, and I want to prove it, not with words but with actions." Emily's eyes narrowed as she studied him. "You love me? Then why didn't you trust me enough to be honest from the start? Did you think I couldn't handle the truth?" Ryan sighed, his voice heavy with emotion. "I was scared. I thought that if you knew who I was, you'd see me as someone I'm not. Someone defined by wealth and status. I wanted you to love me for who I really am, not for my name or my money." Emily stayed silent, torn between the lingering hurt from his betrayal and the undeniable pull of her feelings for him. Ryan pressed on, his tone pleading. "I didn't just come to apologize. I came to help. I know how much Golden Vine means to you and Jack. If you'll let me, I want to help you rebuild this place. Together." Emily hesitated, her heart wavering. She could sense the sincerity in Ryan's voice, and deep down she knew she needed help. But trust was fragile, and Ryan had broken it once. "Fine," she said at last, her voice softening but still firm. "I'll give you a chance. But let me be clear. If you hurt me again, there won't be a second chance." Ryan wasted no time diving into the work. Drawing on his business acumen, he analyzed the vineyard's finances and operations, identifying ways to improve profitability and sustainability. After extensive research, he proposed a bold idea: transform Golden Vine into a boutique winery and a destination for wine tourism, combining handcrafted wines with immersive guest experiences. Emily, though initially skeptical, found herself inspired by Ryan's vision. Together, they reimagined the vineyard, converting an old barn into a tasting room and designing vineyard tours that allowed visitors to learn about winemaking firsthand. Ryan also suggested hosting events at Golden Vine, such as starlit dinners, cooking classes with wine pairings, and workshops on grape cultivation. These ideas promised not only to generate income, but also to put the vineyard on the map as a unique destination. Jack, who had been wary of Ryan, gradually warmed to him. Seeing Ryan's dedication and genuine efforts to help the vineyard flourish, Jack began participating actively in the plans, learning about management and marketing under Ryan's guidance. As they worked side by side, Ryan and Emily slowly repaired their relationship. Evenings spent discussing plans for the vineyard often gave way to more personal conversations. Ryan would share stories of his childhood, his struggles with the pressures of his family, and his dreams of living a simpler, more meaningful life. Emily, in turn, opened up about her fears and hopes for the future and the sacrifices she had made for Jack and the vineyard. One day, Ryan organized a small event at Golden Vine, inviting a handful of tourists and potential investors. The evening was a resounding success. Guests praised the quality of the wine and the charm of the vineyard. Emily, overwhelmed by the positive feedback, couldn't help but feel a spark of hope. For the first time in years, she began to believe that her dream of revitalizing Golden Vine might actually come true. A few nights later, after a long day of work, Ryan invited Emily for a walk through the vineyard. The moonlight cast a soft glow over the rows of vines, creating a serene and almost magical atmosphere. "Emily," Ryan began, his voice gentle but filled with emotion, "from the day I met you, you've changed everything about how I see the world. You've shown me that simplicity, authenticity, and love mean more than any amount of money or success. I can't imagine my life without you." Emily stopped walking, turning to face him. Her heart raced as she looked into his eyes, sensing the depth of his feelings. Ryan took a deep breath and knelt down, pulling a small box from his pocket. Inside was a simple silver ring adorned with a small, sparkling stone. It was understated yet elegant, just like Emily. "I know life won't always be easy," Ryan said, his voice trembling slightly. "But I promise to stand by you through every challenge. Emily Carter, will you marry me?" Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she struggled to find her voice. She saw in Ryan's eyes the sincerity and devotion she had longed for. "Ryan," she whispered, her voice quivering, "I love you too, and I want to build a life with you, here at Golden Vine." Ryan slipped the ring onto her finger and stood, pulling her into a tight embrace. Under the moonlit sky, they held each other, knowing they had found something rare and precious, a love forged through trials and strengthened by trust. Together, they were ready to begin a new chapter in their lives. The day that marked a new chapter in Ryan and Emily's lives finally arrived. Their wedding took place right at Golden Vine, where everyone felt like family. The lush, green vineyards served as a perfect backdrop, adorned with twinkling string lights and wildflowers, carefully handpicked by Emily herself. Friends, neighbors, and everyone who had helped Golden Vine during its most challenging times were in attendance. Jack, dressed sharply in a classic suit, proudly stood beside his sister as her best man. He was the first to take Emily's hand as she stepped onto the aisle, which was strewn with petals, his radiant smile a testament to the family's silent approval. At the end of the aisle, Ryan stood in a simple yet elegant suit, his eyes glistening with emotion as he saw Emily. She wore a pristine white wedding gown, simple in design yet exuding timeless elegance, just like her. Their vows were heartfelt, not mere promises, but reflections of the journey they had taken together. Ryan spoke first, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "Emily, you've shown me that love doesn't need to be flashy or grand. It only needs to be sincere. I promise to stand by you, protect you, and build a meaningful life with you." Emily, her voice trembling with emotion, replied, "Ryan, you've given me hope that no matter how hard life gets, love and determination can see us through. I promise to be your partner in every joy and every challenge." When they exchanged rings and received blessings from everyone present, the atmosphere was filled with pure happiness. Laughter, hugs, and even tears of joy made the ceremony an unforgettable memory. After the wedding, Ryan and Emily officially embarked on their plans to expand Golden Vine. The dreams they had nurtured were finally beginning to take shape. They invested in building a small winery on the estate, allowing visitors to witness the handcrafted winemaking process from vine to bottle. A tasting room was designed with an open layout, giving guests the chance to enjoy wine while taking in the picturesque views of the rolling vineyards. Ryan, with his exceptional business skills, took charge of branding Golden Vine. Together with Emily, he crafted a unique story for each line of wine, weaving in the vineyard's struggles, triumphs, and their love story. The Golden Vine label quickly gained attention, not only from tourists, but also from renowned wine critics. Emily, driven by her artistic passion, designed the wine labels herself and organized art events at the vineyard. She converted an old barn into a gallery where local artists could display their work. These exhibitions not only enriched the cultural appeal of Golden Vine, but also drew more visitors to the estate. Jack, having learned a great deal about management, took on the day-to-day operations of the vineyard. He became an indispensable part of the team, ensuring that Golden Vine ran smoothly and fostering a family-like environment for everyone working there. One evening, as the day's work wrapped up, Ryan and Emily stood hand in hand among the rows of vines, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The gentle breeze carried the scent of earth and life, a reminder of everything they had built together. "Can you believe how much Golden Vine has changed in such a short time?" Ryan asked, his voice filled with wonder as he gazed at the newly constructed winery. Emily smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. "It's not just the vineyard that's changed, Ryan. It's become a part of us. This place gave me peace, and it's where we found each other." Ryan squeezed her hand tightly, his heart brimming with gratitude. "Thank you, Emily, for everything. I can't imagine what my life would be like without you." Emily looked up at him, her eyes soft and full of love. "We did this together, Ryan. This isn't just my dream anymore. It's ours. And you know what? I think we're only just getting started." Their story closes with the image of Ryan and Emily standing in the vineyard, bathed in golden sunlight, a symbol of love, hope, and new beginnings. Golden Vine was no longer just a vineyard. It had become the birthplace of a meaningful journey, a place where love and effort had created a family, a legacy, and a future brimming with promise. Thank you for following our story. Did this story touch your heart? Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like,